Hello, hello, hello. Come on in into the chat. Welcome to the Brooklyn Baby podcast with me, your host, Charlene Sabb. I'm hoping everyone had a great week by the time you hear this podcast episode. And today's podcast episode is about self-care. Yes, yes, and yes. I'm a big advocate on self-care and has so many dimensions. There's so many facets and avenues involved with self-care, you know? So let's get started. Times are hard for a lot of people. I don't care who you are, where you are, what you do for a living, your socioeconomical status. Everybody has problems. Everybody. And as my mama would say, some people have a small plate full of problems. Some people have a platter, and some people have the whole buffet. But regardless, everybody is going through something and struggling with something. And if someone says they're not, they are lying. Lying. So, with that being said, just trying to navigate through this thing called life, it's no joke. And everyone can attest to the fact, just looking on the news, social media, or maybe in their personal lives with someone they know, it could take people out. It could take people out. It could cause people to take other people out, and you just don't want it to be you on the giving in or the receiving end of being taken out or taking someone out. And just, self-care is just so important. Listen, I'm the type of person, I think I was self-caring before self-caring became a coined term. And it could be so simple, like, draw your line in the sand. I know at a certain time, if I don't feel like talking, I don't feel like talking. If I don't feel like picking up my phone, I don't pick up my phone. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. And if anyone who's in your life cannot understand you not picking up your phone or maybe not returning a call in an expeditious fashion, you got to really question that friendship or really question that relative, because I'm just not a type of person who, if you call me back, you call me back. If you text me back, you text me back. Who cares? No harm, no foul. There's so many other things to be pressed about. But when you have family members or people who call themselves your friend, all have their drawers in a knot because you didn't text me back. You didn't call me back. I'm just like, child, bye. Go somewhere with that. And who has time for that? Who has time for that? I just really appreciate people who, if I don't speak to you in 100 years, when we do connect, nothing's lost between us. You pick up right where you left off. I know my great friend from college, Angadi, we met when we were both students at the University of Virginia in Charlottesville, 18 years old, and she and I still are thick as thieves, just so close. And now she lives in Tanzania, and I'm here in Raleigh, North Carolina, and we've been friends since we were 18 years old. We're both 53 now, and there were little gaps in us communicating, even as far as telephone or texting. But when we talk and reconnect, it's like nothing has been lost. That's what I'm talking about. Friends who understand, hey, I might not get back to you soon, and that's part of self-care. Knowing when to, not pick up the phone, not returning a text, putting the phone down, maybe turning the phone off, putting the phone on mute. Who knows? That's what I do for self-care. I also love to family time. Just the other day, my dad and I piled up in the car and drove to my son's new home, and just we met up with Mike, and then we piled into Michael's car and then drove to a nearby restaurant near his new house and just had food together and drinks together. And then afterwards, we piled back into Mike's car, went to his house, and watched some television, some cable. Actually, it was it's a new program looking into the lives of like the track stars who were in the Olympics. Was it called Trainer? I want to say the wrong thing. It was a Netflix docuseries. I think it's called Training. Anyway, just like had the Olympians who performed for track going into their backstories, their personal lives, And it was just a great, great thing. I want to make sure I'm saying the right name, but if I'm saying the wrong name, forgive me, but I think it's called Training or Trainers Training. It's a new show on Netflix. Anyway, self care. I like to listen to a lot of YouTubers. My favorite, Tisa Tells, Kempire. Oh, I live for them. And I know, like, sometimes I just want to, they make me laugh. They're entertainment. They give gossip. They spill the tea. That's self care for me as well. Listen to music. I know my car has Sirius XM. I got the app. I got it all over the place. I have a YouTube. I could stream music through YouTube as well. Got my playlist. Music to me is very therapeutic. I like to walk. I like to jog. I like to go to the gym. Stuff like that. I just love to release stress, walk around the neighborhood, maybe having a good cup of coffee made to my specifications from Dunkin' Donut. People who know me know I love some Dunkin' Donut with some unsweetened hazelnut and some extra cream. Yes, yes, and yes. All of that. Going to the grocery store to get light groceries. Not heavy. I don't like to do heavy shopping. Like back in the day, I used to do a lot of heavy shopping. Because I know since the pandemic, I used to always go by my parents' house and a lot of times just stay with them, and just abandon my place in nearby city of Nightdale and just stay with them, pretty much living with them, and just go to my house, my place to re-up on certain things, and then go right back to their house. So I was like living pretty much at two residences, like around the time of the pandemic and for the years beyond once my mother's health failed. But my point of saying is to say, but I don't like to do like heavy shopping, like, oh, you got to get everything in a full grocery cart. That's not a fun experience for me. I know the school where I teach now, the year-round school, like it's like right across the street from my school. So like a lot of times I can do like light shopping where you might not need a basket, you might not need a cart, or if I do need a cart, it's one of those cute little carts. I like doing light shopping, like just a few items that I can just use self checkout. To me, that's very therapeutic. I don't want to have to do heavy shopping where you didn't do shopping for a long time. You gotta get everything. You got a big ass grocery cart with stuff, and you gotta go to the checkout with actual cashier because you got so much shit. No, I'd rather just do light. To me, that's therapeutic. Light cooking is therapeutic. Not a heavy knockdown. I like to cook, but not doing like my mother, like that knockdown, drag down 5-course meal, all this gourmet stuff. She had pleasure in that. That was her self care and her free therapy. But for me, like something light, as my son would say, something light, something not heavy. And I'm going to say this, in moderation, a nice cocktail. I'm sipping on some White Zinfandel right now. I'm doing this podcast. Hey, y'all. Hey, hey. A nice cocktail calms my soul and eases my nerves. So all of that. And I like to talk. And maybe that's why I started a podcast. I like to talk and communicate. Like I'm just talking right here in my little studio in the house, just talking for this podcast for you all, But that's what I like to do, communicate. So communication is self-care because it's free therapy. Whereas you got psychiatrists, therapists, and all these people charging by the hour, gargantuan amounts of money, copious amounts of money. Well, and it's a great thing. They're needed. They're necessary. But if you don't have to, just communicate with people that you trust. Like find a safe space. I use my family as a soundboard. We always use each other as soundboards to like run ideas off of, to discuss our problems. And I know I talk to my son every day, unless, well, no, even when he's on vacation or if I'm away on vacation, usually we communicate just about every day. It might not be as lengthy, but we communicate every single day. I know I gave him a break. He just got back from Jamaica. And I know we texted, but still, my point in saying this is to say, communicate. If you have like a safe space, someone you can talk to about whatever's going on in your life, that's all a part of self-care. I know I'm a queen of like having a nice hot shower, and sometimes I feel like I need a nice bubble bath with candles around my bathtub. That's self-care for me too. But yeah, you just got to find what works for you. Sometimes I might need retail therapy. Now I'm going to be clear. I know this might sound strange, but I really do not like going to malls to shop. And if I do, I'm in, I'm out. I don't like, people used to like, I want to go shop with my girlfriends. I want to go shopping. I don't like shopping with my son. Not saying I have a problem with shopping with I love him. But I like to shop by myself. My mother, she would spend hours shopping. I never liked shopping with her because she'd be in the store for hours. Even though she might buy me stuff, she'd buy me stuff, whether I'm with her or not. But I don't want to be in the store for hours. My son, you know, be it, I guess, picky, meticulous, and very tall. He wants to try on stuff. And I guess I'm impatient. My dad, now, he's one to shop with because he's in, he's out. So my point in saying is to say, shopping every now and then. I might want to go out to a store to buy clothing or perfumes or fragrances, body sprays, what have you, fragrance, lotions, stuff like that. Bath and Body, Victoria's Secret. But you know what? I find it very therapeutic shopping at home on my computer because I know my body dimensions. If I lose weight, gain weight, whatever, I know if I shop with a certain clothing designer, manufacturer, I know my body's dimensions, and I rarely have to take clothing back because I know what works for me, what size works for me, what fits, what doesn't. And usually I credit that to the fact that I use, if I know a certain shoe line or shoe manufacturer, what my size is, rarely do I have to ever take anything back, whether I gain weight or not. So, retail therapy. I like to laugh, like to look at cable. I'm a big Bravo fan. I like pretty much all the Housewife franchises, but specifically Atlanta, Potomac, now Dubai, and then I like Bravo's Married to Medicine. Yes, yes, that makes me feel good watching like good TV, entertainment, make me laugh. So that's what I do for self care as well. I like having great foods because all food isn't good food. I like good quality food from good quality restaurants. So going out to eat, I find that great self care as well. Reading a good book. I find me writing my books. That's self care when I'm just in a nice quiet space, just me and my computer with my ideas pouring out. I feel comfortable, and that's self care for me too. Just honing my craft. Writing, writing, writing. Yeah, so everyone's got to tap into what makes them feel good with their self care. I know I love being around my family, friends, breaking bread, fellowshipping, eating, drinking. Ooh, dancing. Yes, that's very. I have a cousin that owns a club, and you know, in the past I would work the door because my son would have brunches at the club, and just being around like young people or people in general because people young and old come by the club. Not every night is young heads, as I call them, or millennials, or generation, whatever generation comes after that. Sometimes, there are people my age, 50 and up coming through. And I think that's very nice. And I just like to be around music, act a fool, dance, not be cookie cutter. Just do me. Because I'm very eccentric, off the wall. And I do whatever I want to do. I don't care what people think about me. You know, I pretty much say what I want to say, do what I want to do. I'm the type of person at a stoplight, if I'm jamming, rocking out like I was the other day to a song on Sirius XM, it might be The Groove, it might be Heart and Soul, it might be Rock the Bells Radio, LL Cool J. I don't care who's looking. I'm going to be dancing in my car at the stoplight. And I know people are like, what is she? I really don't give a damn what anybody thinks. I'm minding my black business. I'm minding the business that pays me. I'm not hurting anybody. So stuff like that is my self-care. Yeah, I like to look good. I like to feel good. A lot of times I like to go out made up because my mother used to and father always say, don't leave home without washing yourself, cleaning yourself, look your best. You don't know who you're going to run into. And I'm the type of person, when I was living home in Brooklyn, even to go down the street to the corner store that was literally down the block from my house, I would get all made up and done up. Because in that little stretch from our house to the corner store, which was like, what, a 2 minute walk, literally going down our block, if that, maybe a minute, no, okay, maybe two, you might see neighbors. You don't want to be looking crazy. You don't want to be smelling badly. So yeah, hygiene. You make sure you wash your ass, brush your teeth, look good. Shoot, because in my mind, I might meet my man of my dreams going to the corner store. You just never know, or you might see someone and you don't want to, because I know people talk. They say, "Oh, I saw her and she was looking tore." I know that's how I talk. Look, if I run into you, you look at a hot mess, I'm going to talk about you, and and I know people probably talk about me too. Even locally, living here in North Carolina, Raleigh, I've taught. I've been teaching for 17 years, so you do the math. And every year I have approximately 120 to 130 students. So 17 years old, I've taught upwards of 2,000 plus kids. And when they become adults, they have jobs. I run into them sometimes taking my order at a local restaurant, or working at the local grocery store, working at the Walmart or wherever, or I had one. He and his lady came to my cousin's club when I was working the door for my son's event at my cousin's club. So yes, you don't know who you're gonna run into. You always want to look your best. And I know, like my parents used to always say and still do, when you look good, you feel good. And to me, that is self-care. You know, because I know people say, well, you walk with a certain type of swag to you. You walk with a certain way. Even one of my students, she coined the nickname for me, Miss Swag, and it just stuck. And then another years later, a student I taught and her mother bought me a Miss Swag nameplate for my desk. That was actually made from stone, but with the Miss Swag name written on it. It's so beautiful. And yeah, so they call me Miss Swag at the school. And a little girl who's now an adult, who I still keep in contact with, Grace, she said, Miss Sab, we would call you Miss Swag. You dress so well, and you're just so cool, or you just walk like you float. That's what they say. They say, I walk like I'm floating. Like evidently they say I walk a certain way, like with a certain strut. I even had a coworker run into me with her husband at Walmart recently. They say, I recognize that walk anywhere. Then the other day I was walking somewhere with a cover-up duster on, and the woman said, ma'am, you're so beautiful. And she said, when you're walking, it looks like you're just floating, and your duster is just flowing behind you, like you look so regal. I was like, whoa, okay. And it was just such a nice compliment. And a lot of people don't compliment, a lot of women don't compliment. For this sister to compliment me like that, and she said, it's like a Beyonce. Now, I know she's not saying I look like Beyonce, because I know I don't. But she was just saying graceful, regal, and she felt beautiful like a Beyonce type person, which that's quite a compliment, from one queen to another, And that's what people need to do more. Show more love. Show more. Don't be afraid to compliment. Because I know I'm like my mother. I'm the queen of complimenting. My whole family, my son, my father, my mother, myself. If you have a nice home, a nice car, and I think that's why we're so blessed, and that's why God blessed us with what we have, because we're not afraid. Even coming up when we didn't have what we have, just compliment somebody, make somebody's day. Don't be a hater. And when you compliment and you give people credit where credit is due, God and the universe opens up so much to you, because it's not that hater mentality. You can give someone praise. You can give someone nice words and make somebody's day. It takes nothing from you. So yeah. And just, another thing with self-care, just lighting, well, just lighten your load. Lighten your load. We all got problems. Don't stress. At the end of the day, it'll all work out. Just a positive growth mindset. Positive growth mindset. Positive growth mindset. And instead of like dwelling on what has happened in the past, what's happening in the present, let shit go. Let it go. Let it go. Because all that worrying is not going to change anything, is it? It's not. It's not. And you'll feel so much better, so much lighter. Um, Another thing with self care, surround yourself with positive people. Just surround yourself with positive people. Positive people. Positive people. If something's or someone's not positive, they need to go immediately. 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 And even down to jobs. I mean, jobs, everyone has job issues. Most people, many people, I should say. But if you are being harassed, mistreated, dogged out, that's a whole nother issue. You do not need to put up with that. To be anyone's doormat, stepping stool, not at a job, not in a relationship, not with friendships, not with relationships, not with situationships. If something's toxic to that extent, baby, make other plans, exit, get out of it immediately. No one has to put up with that. No one. Whew, well, that's it for now. Hope you enjoyed. Until next time, bye.